protesters from the CGT union, the largest union. You've seen live images there of that protest march, which was making its way from Place de la République down to the Bastille. France 24's Luke Schrago is actually with those protesters. Luke, can you give us a sense of what is actually happening now?
Well, France is no stranger to protesting its leaders, but it's extremely rare that we'd see a protest against the president-elect the very day after he was elected. Now, this was billed by, as you said, the CGT union, the largest union in France, the hard left union, as putting the pressure on Emmanuel Macron from day one. They're extremely concerned about the potential for labour reforms. You may remember last summer we saw some of the biggest protests across the country against what came to be known as the 49-3 reforms after it was forced through by decree in Parliament. Now, Emmanuel Macron at the time, he said that those reforms had been watered down, and the fear for unions is that he may begin pushing far harder reforms through at power level 10, far harder by decree. Now, the march began over at République. You can see just behind me that we're coming into Place de la Bastille. The march down from République has been somewhat chaotic. You may be able to see around me an awful lot of police officers, all in full riot gear. The unions wanted at least 5,000 to 10,000 people. The numbers are, in fact, a lot less than that, perhaps certainly no more than 2,000 in total. Now, it was somewhat chaotic. Police have barricaded roads on either side. They prevented them from moving all the way down in one go. They were blocked on several occasions. There was one extremely loud bang, some sort of explosion. Whether that was a firework thrown from the crowd or a flashbang from the police, that's not exactly sure. But it does show that Emmanuel Macron has an awful lot of work to do if he wants to reunite a badly divided France.
Luke, you're there at Place de la Bastille, a very historic, symbolic location in Paris, obviously the site of where the French Revolution effectively took place. The CGT, the union that's currently protesting, is very much to the left. However, it's one of the strongest and loudest unions, one would say. And one thing that's been said about Macron's policies is that as far as the CGT and other union officials are concerned, he is promoting an Uberisation, if you like, of the French economy. This is just a tiny taste, isn't it, of what he could expect in the months to come.
Yes, the potential for being there. Remember that Emmanuel Macron was not their candidate. Now, very few unions endorsed him. Only one major union, the CFDT, said to go out and vote for him. None of the others would endorse him at all, particularly the CGT. Of course, no real left-wing candidates went through. Jean-Luc Mélenchon, of course, went out. Now, these are a lot of people here who would have voted for him had he gone through. However, as it is, the question remains, is Emmanuel Macron going to be able to overcome this crushing sense of disappointment and disillusionment that exists within French politics? He is a centrist candidate. He'll likely be drawing his government from across party lines, both right and left. But the fact remains is that he is still someone who was in the French government and was on record as being on the side of the labour reforms that were deeply unpopular last summer. And that, I think, is the main fear with unions today.